John had always thought that his life was perfect. He had a good job, a comfortable home, and a loving wife named Emily. Everyone in his neighborhood admired their relationship. Emily was always polite and charming, always smiling and helping others. John often told his friends that he had the best wife in the world. But lately, he had begun to notice small things that seemed unusual. At first, he tried to ignore them, thinking he was overthinking. It started with her phone. Emily had always kept her phone close, which was normal, but recently she had become very secretive. She would quickly hide it when he entered the room, and sometimes she would laugh quietly while texting. John felt a small doubt growing in his mind. He tried not to think about it too much, but curiosity kept pulling him closer. Then there were her sudden trips. Emily began saying she was visiting friends or running errands, but sometimes she came back later than expected. When John asked about her day, she would smile and say everything was fine, but he noticed a nervous tone in her voice. Her behavior was polite and careful, but he could sense that she was hiding something. One evening, John was sitting in the living room reading a book. Emily had gone out for a walk, but she had forgotten her bag. John picked it up to return it to her. As he opened the bag, he saw her phone lying on top. Normally, he would not have touched it, but something inside him urged him to check it. He told himself it was just to see if she was okay, but deep down he knew he wanted to find out the truth. He unlocked the phone and found messages from unknown numbers. Some were simple greetings, but others hinted at secrets he had never known. One message said, "Meet me tonight. Don't tell John." Another message had a picture of a place he had never visited with Emily. John felt his heart beat faster. He had always trusted Emily completely, and now doubts were growing like shadows in his mind. John could not sleep that night. He kept thinking about the messages and Emily's recent behavior. He remembered all the times she smiled and acted as if everything was perfect. Was it really perfect, or was he living a lie? He decided that he needed to know more before jumping to conclusions. The next morning, John tried to act normal. He greeted Emily with a smile, asked about her sleep, and talked about work. Emily noticed nothing unusual. She smiled and said, "I had a good sleep. How about you?" John nodded and tried to hide his worry. But inside, he was planning how to find out more. Over the next few days, John watched Emily carefully. He noticed the way she looked at her phone, the secretive trips, and the small lies about simple things. Every small action seemed connected to something hidden. He felt a mix of fear and curiosity. He did not want to destroy their relationship, but he also could not ignore the truth. One afternoon, John found himself following Emily. She said she was going to the market, but he wanted to see where she really went. He kept a safe distance and observed her movements. Emily walked calmly, talking on the phone, but she did not go to the market. Instead, she entered a small cafe he had never noticed before. John waited outside, hiding behind a tree. He saw her meet a man he had never seen before. They spoke quietly, laughed, and exchanged something that John could not see clearly. John's mind was racing. Who was the man? What was Emily hiding? He wanted to rush inside and confront her, but he knew that he needed proof. He could not just accuse her without knowing the full story. His heart was heavy, and he felt a strange mix of love and fear. When Emily returned home, John acted normal again. He asked, "How was your day?" She smiled and said, "It was fine. Just the usual things." John nodded, pretending to believe her, but he could not stop thinking about what he had seen. That night, he checked her phone again when she was asleep. More messages appeared, talking about meetings and secrets he could not understand. John felt his trust shaking, but he also felt a strange need to understand everything before making any decision. Days passed, and John became more careful. He followed Emily again and noticed that she sometimes visited places he did not know about. She seemed happy and confident, but every smile now made him anxious. He loved her deeply, but the thought that she was hiding a secret hurt him in a way he had never imagined. John tried to talk to her casually, asking about her friends and her day. Emily answered politely, but John noticed subtle signs of nervousness. Her hands would shake slightly, and her voice sometimes wavered. He wanted to ask directly about the messages, but he was afraid of what he might hear. He wanted the truth, but he also wanted to keep the woman he loved. One evening, John sat alone in the living room, thinking. He remembered all the happy moments they had shared, the trips, the laughter, the quiet evenings at home. He could not believe that the perfect life he had imagined might not be real. But he also knew he could not ignore the signs. The mystery had to be solved. The next morning, John decided to take a careful approach. He would not confront Emily immediately. Instead, he would gather more information to understand her secrets. He watched her closely, noticed her routines, and tried to connect the dots. Every small clue seemed important. John felt like a detective, but it was his own life he was investigating. Emily noticed nothing. She continued her polite behavior, her charming smile, and her mysterious trips. John felt torn between love and fear. He loved Emily deeply, but the growing suspicion in his mind was hard to ignore. Every small lie or secretive act made his heart heavy. He knew that the truth would come out eventually, but he did not know if he was ready to face it. As the days passed, John's doubts grew stronger. He began to plan how to confront Emily without hurting their relationship too much. He wanted to know everything, her past, her secrets, and the truth behind the mysterious messages. But he also wanted to protect the love they had built over the years. The perfect life he had imagined now seemed fragile, and he realized that love sometimes came with hidden challenges. John understood that he could not ignore the signs anymore. The messages, the trips, the nervous behavior, all pointed to a hidden truth. He needed to find answers, but he also wanted to approach the situation with care. The perfect wife he had known seemed to be a mystery now, and John knew that his journey to uncover her secrets would test his trust, patience, and love. John could not stop thinking about what he had seen. Emily's secret meetings, the mysterious messages, and her strange behavior had filled his mind with questions. He loved her deeply, but now he realized that love was not enough. He needed to know the truth. He decided that he could no longer wait. He had to uncover Emily's hidden past and understand why she had been keeping secrets from him. The next morning, John woke up early. Emily was still asleep, and the sunlight filled the bedroom with a soft glow. He quietly left the room and went to the living room. He opened Emily's phone again, careful not to disturb anything. He found more messages and photos that he had not noticed before. Some of them were from people he did not know. Others were old messages, talking about places and events that Emily had never mentioned. John felt a mix of shock and sadness. He had thought he knew everything about his wife, but now he realized that there was a life she had hidden from him. John decided to follow Emily again. He wanted to understand where she went and who she met. Today, she said she was going to the library, but John felt a strong suspicion. He waited outside, hiding behind a tree. Emily walked calmly down the street, but instead of going to the library, she entered a small office building. John followed from a safe distance. Inside, Emily met a man who looked familiar. John could not remember where he had seen him before. They spoke quietly, exchanged papers, and laughed. John wanted to confront them immediately, but he knew he needed to be patient. He returned home and pretended to be normal. Emily smiled and asked if he wanted coffee. John nodded, but his mind was elsewhere. He could not stop thinking about the office, the man, and the papers. He realized that Emily had been living two lives. The life she shared with him was only one part of her world. There was another life, full of secrets and hidden events, that he had never known. John decided to ask about her past casually. Over dinner, he said, "Emily, you never told me much about your old friends. Where did you live before we met?" Emily paused, took a deep breath, and said, "Oh, it's a long story. Nothing important." John sensed hesitation in her voice. He decided to continue gently, "I just want to know more about you. Your life before us is part of who you are." Emily smiled, but there was a shadow in her eyes. "Okay," she said softly, "maybe I should tell you sometime." John felt both relief and frustration. He knew that she was hiding something important, but he could not force her to reveal it yet. The next day, John began searching online. He looked for any information about Emily's past. He found some old social media accounts that she had forgotten to delete. Photos showed her with people he did not know, in places he had never visited. There were events, parties, and trips that she had never mentioned. John felt a growing sense of unease. He loved Emily, but now he realized that love required trust and honesty. Without the truth, their relationship might not survive. John decided to confront Emily carefully. That evening, he said, "Emily, I found some things that confused me. Can we talk?" Emily looked surprised, her eyes widening. She nodded slowly, and John continued, "I see that there are parts of your life you haven't told me. I want to understand. I love you, but I need the truth." Emily took a deep breath and sat down. She looked nervous, but she also seemed ready to speak. She began to tell her story. She explained that before she met John, she had been involved in complicated situations with people she trusted. Some were dangerous, and some could have harmed her reputation. She had hidden these events because she was afraid John would leave her. She admitted that she had met certain people in secret, not to deceive John, but to resolve unfinished matters from her past. John listened carefully, feeling a mixture of relief and sadness. He realized that Emily had not been lying to hurt him, she had been protecting herself and, in some way, protecting him too. As Emily spoke, John remembered all the moments they had shared. The love, the laughter, the quiet evenings together, it was all real. The secrets were only a small part of her life, hidden by fear and caution. John felt his anger and doubt slowly melting away. He realized that understanding the hidden truth was the first step to rebuilding trust. After their long conversation, John and Emily decided to work together to face the past. They made plans to resolve the remaining issues carefully and honestly. John promised to support her, no matter what challenges came. Emily promised to be more open and honest, even if the truth was difficult. For the first time in weeks, John felt a sense of peace. He knew that the path ahead would not be easy, but he also knew that love could survive when both people were willing to face the truth together. In the following days, John noticed a change in Emily. She seemed lighter, freer, and more confident. She no longer hid her phone, and she spoke openly about her past experiences. John felt proud of her courage. He realized that secrets could damage a relationship, but honesty and patience could rebuild it. They spent more time together, talking, laughing, and understanding each other better than before. John also reflected on himself. He realized that trust was not just about believing what someone said, but also about understanding their fears and experiences. He understood that Emily's secrets had been a test of patience, love, and understanding. By facing the hidden truth together, their relationship had become stronger and deeper. One evening, they walked in the park, holding hands. John looked at Emily and felt a warm sense of gratitude. They had faced fear, doubt, and uncertainty, but they had survived together. John knew that life was never perfect, but love, honesty, and trust could make it beautiful. Emily smiled at him, and in that moment, John realized that the hidden truth had not destroyed their marriage, it had strengthened it. From that day forward, John and Emily promised to communicate openly and support each other in every situation. They knew that challenges would come, but they also knew that together, they could overcome anything. The secrets of the past no longer haunted them. Instead, they became lessons that taught them the value of honesty, patience, and understanding. John and Emily's love grew stronger with each passing day. They shared their dreams, fears, and hopes for the future. The hidden truth had revealed not only Emily's past but also the depth of their bond. They learned that trust was fragile but could be rebuilt, that love was patient but could endure, and that life was full of surprises that could either divide or unite. For John and Emily, the secrets of the past became the foundation for a stronger, more honest, and more loving relationship.